Good afternoon, city gentlemen. We have less than 5 minutes. We want to allow you to trade on the Transcorp Power shares first before we say a word or two at this epoch-making listing of Transcorp Power. So, Jude, please.
All protocol duly observed. We will now commence the listing of Transcorp Power PLC. I'd like to call on the broker to make the request.
The acting CEO of the Nigerian Exchange, Mr. Jude Chuemeka.
Go straight to the point. Just make the request.
United Capital Securities is here this afternoon to seek the exchange approval to list the entire 7.5 billion ordinary shares of Transcorp Power PLC on the main board of the exchange. Transcorp Power is undertaking a listing by introduction of the entire issued ordinary shares as a strategic move to increase the company's visibility, enhance the access to capital from both local and international investors, and to improve the liquidity in the secondary market, ultimately benefiting its value investors, stakeholders, and deepening the equities market.
All right, thank you so much. Your request is hereby granted.
I can see our brokers already trading on the Transcorp Power. At the end, then we can be able to know what volume we have gotten for our investing public. Let me formally welcome the Transcorp team, led by no any other person than the group chairman, Mr. Tony Elumelu, CFR, who happens to be not only my life brother, but a friend to this market. He has demonstrated that, and I believe this epoch-making event is a demonstration of having confidence in this market. For us, we are not surprised that Mr. Tony Elumelu is bringing another organization to this our exchange. And we believe this is just the beginning. For some of us that knows Chief Tony Elumelu over the years, and we're invested in most of the companies he has brought to this market, we know the success stories. And we believe it's an opportunity for other investing public to share to this success story. And today is just the beginning. Transcorp Power PLC has been quoted and listed today on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, has a market capitalization of over 1.8 trillion as of today. And Transcorp Power belongs to the organization of companies that are listed on the exchange that have 1 trillion naira and above. For some of us that have been following all the success stories, we know the resources that Tony Elumelu and his team has put into this organization. And we believe the target that they have of over 3,000 megawatts, which is equal to almost like half of what we are generating in Nigeria, is a demonstration that this is going to be achieved sooner or later. So for us at the NGX, the listing of Transcorp PLC today, among so many other listed companies, but the second in the power sector is a demonstration that this is our strategy. The strategy in the NGX is to bring all companies that are from different sectors of a vibrant economy to the Nigerian exchange. And by bringing Transcorp Power today to the investing public, we believe all our stockbroking firms, our pressmen that are here, and from the Transcorp team is a demonstration that we need to sell this institution. People should know that another vibrant company is being listed today. Let them come and invest to share the success story of Tony Elumelu as a person and Transcorp in general. So on this note, we have less than 40 seconds. Let me formally introduce some of our team that are here. Jude is a non-face here with you, the CEO. We have Nonso Opada from the NGX. And so many of us, we have Chief Sonny here. We have CIS President. We have the Ashon. In fact, some of them are wearing 2 or 3 caps as a dual caps. So we have 17 seconds. After that, after we close the market, I will invite Chief Unorom so that he can make a formal introduction of Mr. Tony Elumelu and the Transcorp team. So we have less than 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 1. Over to you, sir. Thank you, sir. We appreciate. Chief Mr. Norom is the chairman of Transcorp Power. He's going to do a formal introduction, starting by the group chairman, Mr. Tony Elimelu, CFR, who has been to be my very good friend and my life brother. Mr. Norom, please.
Good afternoon, stockbrokers. All protocols observed. We are very happy to list Transcorp Power PLC on the stock exchange today. Transcorp PLC is a subsidiary of Transcorp. Transcorp Power PLC is a subsidiary of Transcorp PLC, and we have always come to the market with many of our companies because we believe that this market will continue to improve and open up things for investors. So today we are sharing the investing platform to all Nigerians to invest in Transcorp Power PLC. Transcorp Power PLC, as you may know a little, started with 160 megawatts handed over to us by the government in 2013. And since then, we have improved the capacity to 700 megawatts. And we are generating every day a minimum of about 10% of the power output in this country. And we can do many more. Just the constraint of some other participants that I'm sure over time will be resolved. So once again, I want to welcome everyone and ask that you please talk to investors. This is a company that you have a lot to go for. We have been paying dividends in the last 5 years, every year, even when as a private company. And so shareholders are guaranteed of more dividends and greater dividends in the years ahead. We're going to say more about the company when we go for the facts behind the figure, and I'm sure all of you will be invited and you hear more about the company. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chief Norom. We have another opportunity, we have another platform for all the questions should be asked at the facts behind the figures. You are all invited on the 20th floor, our event center. So maybe do we need to have the summary of the trading of Transcorp for today? Where is the broker? Do you have a summary of what transpired? Maybe in the absence of that. Nobody has. Okay. Before doing that, let me invite Doyen so that he can say a word or two. We'll come to Prof for the family songs. Then we do the closing prayers. We'll invite Dr. Farouk and another one person because we need this type of prayers. This country needs a lot of prayers. Our market needs a lot of prayers. Tony Element needs a lot of prayers. Transcorp needs a lot of prayers. And we continue to pray. Thank God for us at the NGX. If there's any other sector that have felt the positive impact of this administration, of Tinubu administration, is second to us in the NGX. For what we have achieved since the coming of Tinubu administration, we want to assure you that it's just going to continue going, moving. We are partners to Transcorp. We are partners to the success story of the present government. And we believe by the time we showcase people like Tony Elimelu and the rest, that's the only way that we are going to sell this country to the outside world. Today's listing is a demonstration of that, and I believe going forward, this is what we are supposed to be doing in this country. Once more, Mr. Tony Elimelu, we are proud of you. We are proud to be associated with you, and you be rest assured of our total support from the NGS. Doyen, please.
Thank you, the group chairman of NGS. Our brother, the chairman of Transcorp, and the man that says he wants to give everybody food on this market by fire, by force. And each time Tony is here with his team, we're always happy because all that he's bringing will end in this machine. And Tony is like the rainbow. Rainbow says he has several colors, but all the colors, he doesn't want to wear it himself. He will share to the brothers and the sisters so that everybody will exhibit the colors. And that's what he's doing. He's not saying, I'm the owner of the company, I want to eat all. He wants to distribute it. That is love. That is, celebration of kindness. And we're happy to receive here today. And there's no how Tony will come here if you know each time I'm officiating that we will not sing our family songs. Why? Because he has done well. If somebody has done well, you have to pat him at the back and say, yes, you have done well. Because he that's doing it, possibly he doesn't know that he's doing well. Because he that dancing does not know that he's dancing well. It is the onlookers that will say, you are dancing well. And you see, the drum or the trumpet does not call anybody for nothing. There must be something you are doing that is very important. That's why the drum will be calling you when you reach where they are playing the drum on the wrestling arena. Tony, we congratulate you. We say thank you. We say continue as you are doing. And they say there's no too much speech in evening service.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me summarize this protocol, because with the caliber I've seen here today and the full house today, I don't know where even to start. If I say I'll continue to mention them, it will take another time. Every angle I've looked at, and all because of Tony Elimelu. Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are here today for the facts behind the figures of Transcorp Power. We had some briefs at the boardroom of the NGS. We went straight to the trading floor and traded over 10 billion naira worth of Transcorp Power shares today. Happy to inform you that the shares gained 10%, which is the maximum in our market, which is a clear demonstration of the trust and confidence that Transcorp Power in particular and the Nigerian investing public have on the NGX platform in particular. We are using this opportunity to invite more and more of Transcorp Power PLC to come and be listed on the NGX. Today you hear the success stories of where Transcorp Power is coming from, where Transcorp Power is today, and where Transcorp Power is heading to. And I believe you are going to be part of the success stories, not only for the people that have bought today, but people are going to buy tomorrow. Those are going to buy next tomorrow, and both locally and internationally. We have a platform, we have an opportunity that people should key in one of the critical sectors of our economy. This is, I believe, the second quoted company on the power sector. For us at the NGX, it's part of our strategy so that we can make sure that all companies on all sectors of the economy are being listed on the NGX. We have for us to get more and more of Transcorp Power. Today, Transcorp Power is coming with over 1 trillion naira capitalization, and we believe more and more are going to come. This is just the beginning. So as part of the program, I'm not supposed to say a lot, but I've seen that I have a brief remarks to make, my CEO. Then we are going to invite the chairman on my right-hand side and the chairman of Transcorp Power on the left-hand side. I believe even the MD is coming today. Then we'll come to the question and answers that we are going to give almost everybody an opportunity to ask whatever questions you want to ask, either specifically on the Transcorp Power. For us, we are not surprised. For people that know Tony Elimelu, they know Tony Elimelu think big, plan big, and surpass his target. And I believe this is not going to be different. So, MC, let me allow you before Nonso and the rest start saying Tiama has taken over the floor. MC, go ahead, please. Liberalization by the current administration of Tinubu. The success of Transcorp Power PLC is a testament to the visionary leadership of no any other person than Mr. Tony Elimelu, CFR, whose strategic investment have not only elevated the company, but have also set a new standard for excellence in the capital market and beyond. His leadership serves as an inspiration to all of us, showcasing the impact that a visionary leadership and innovative thinking can have on an enterprise and the entire industry. I also commend the management of Transcorp Power as their dedication and commitment to operational efficiency and innovation is evident in the remarkable achievements of the organization. I would also like to acknowledge and commend the collaboration and expertise of other stakeholders in this transaction, which includes Betiva Advisory Services Limited, also Chuka Iseka here, United Capital, African Prudential, and Deloitte, just to mention a few. Their unwavering support and professional acumen have been instrumental in transforming vision into reality, leading to the success of today's listing event. In conclusion, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to Transcorp Power PLC on these momentous achievements. Your success is a testament to what can be achieved through dedication, collaboration, and a commitment to excellence. Together, let us continue to harness the power sector and the power of the capital market to drive our nation's growth and prosperity. We are proud and happy to have Transcorp PLC on our main board, as it gives our investors another strong, viable company to invest in. And I urge all our stockbrokers and other capital market stakeholders and all professional advisors to please spread this good news to their clients of this opportunity to partake in the success story of Transcorp Holdings in particular, in general, and Transcorp Power in particular. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much to my indefatigable chairman for those apt remarks. Now we will take some brief remarks from the acting CEO, NGX Limited, Mr. Jude Chemeka.
The chairman NGX, if you just permit me to start an already established protocol because of the challenge of time. Mr. Tony Elumelu, the group chair of Transcorp PLC, CFR. At the NGX, this is really not about NGX, this is about Transcorp Power, so I won't waste much time. So at the NGX, we're committed to providing platforms that will allow corporates such as Transcorp Power to list on the exchange. But today's listing is particularly significant in the sense that it now offers investors an opportunity to diversify their portfolios. If you think about the Heirs Holdings Group and the number of companies that they have listed on the exchange, there are about 5. Today, one more is added, so we now have 6 from that group. I think they deserve a big round of applause. This in itself shows the commitment of Mr. Tony Elumelu, CFR, not just to the capital market, but also to the Nigerian economy. Why do I say that? I think figures don't lie. If you think about top 5 corporates last year paid 362 billion naira as taxes to the federal government, and they paid 926 billion naira as dividends to investors. And that is also part of inclusive, that does not include the capital dividend income tax that these corporates pay. But if you think about the Heirs Holding associated companies that are listed, last year in 2022 financials, they paid 50.4 billion naira as taxes. I can't even begin to talk about the jobs opportunity that it creates. You see it yourself. There's a deliberate attempt not just to create jobs, but to create a balanced job. You can tell from the senior management position in terms of gender equality. You can also think about youth empowerment. I can go on and on and on of all the many things that our group represents. But one thing I want to leave you with, I was a disciple of that institution. And 2 things, among many things that you will learn. One, your capacity can be tested. You can actually do more than what you think you can do. The word impossibility does not really exist. It's just that you have not figured the way to do it. So it's no surprise that I'm the acting CEO of the exchange today. It's part of the TOE way of doing business that's in my DNA. So I can go on and on, but I leave you with one word. Before I get to that word, there's a word, Afri-capitalism. You know, when I first heard it, I was like, what does that really mean? But Afri-capitalism has now been acknowledged in one of the leading institutions in the world, Harvard Business School. The concept that foreign is better it's just a concept of your lack of understanding of the inherent strength that we have as a continent. Truly, we do not have to rely outside because we can dig deep and produce world-class institutions. And Heirs Holdings and its associated companies are demonstrating that, and clearly they will continue to demonstrate that. So the word I want to leave us with is the word tectonic. So Mr. Tony Lemery will talk about change, challenging the status quo. But he's not talking about incremental change. And as young people, as people that are in the capital market, it talks about a transformative change. So geologists will understand it, because the earth crust moves and gives way. And that is the way Transcorp Power has demonstrated its evolution and its listing on this change. Today is just the beginning of many things. It's not a figure that is based in isolation, because if you think about the transformation, it has already started. Their 2022 figures shows that revenue is up by 22%, profit before tax is up by 24%, and so assets have also grown by about 8.6%. So this is just the beginning for all the many investors. And at Exchange, we are committed to working with partners such as this to create more jobs, to create avenues for investors to really maximize the benefits of the capital market. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, sir, for the profound remarks. Afrocapitalism. Great. So now to the core meat of the day, the facts behind the listings presentation for Transcorp Power PLC. So to lay the groundwork for that, I'll be introducing Dr. Gbadebo Aderele, MD Investment Banking United Capital, to introduce the presenters, and set the tone for the presentation. Please, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, once again. Welcoming you to this facts behind the listing of Transcorp Power PLC shares. My first task today will be to introduce the presenters. Representing the company here for this presentation will be the MD CEO, Engineer Peter Ikenga. Just to speak a bit about Engineer Peter Ikenga, he holds an engineering degree in electrical and electronics engineering in 1992. Also holds an MBA from University of Texas, Austin, got that in 2008. He was the refining director at Niger Delta Exploration and Production Limited. And his industry experience in the oil and gas space spans the upstream, midstream, and downstream subsectors. Now to go to the Chief Finance Officer, Evans Opogoro. He's Chief Finance Officer and also Head of Investor Relations. He's a consummate finance professional with experience spanning financial services and oil and gas sectors. He has a degree in accounting, and he also has an MBA in finance from Obafemi Awolowo University. He's a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria and also the Institute of Chartered Taxation of Nigeria. At this point, I'll hand over to the CEO, Engineer Peter Ikenga, to take on the presentation from here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gbadebo, and it's a pleasure to be here this afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. May I please crave your indulgence to stand on existing protocol? I thought we're going to have some slides, so if you can put up the slides. Thank you. Okay. All right. So, today truly is a monumental day for us at Transcorp Power. All right, great. Today we make our mark in the sands of history. Transcorp Power acquired Ughelli Power Plant, took over operational control of the plant precisely on the 1st of November 2013. And so 1st of November 2023 marked our first decade, a decade of impact, a decade of transformation. And we're going to walk you back our history, our journey, and the phenomenal success that we've recorded since taking over the power plant in 2013. But also, today also is a giant step into the future for us. We're looking at writing the history for the next decade, and no better way than to start by listing on the main board of the stock exchange. So truly, it's an exciting day. And I just want to appreciate and thank our group chairman for his extraordinary visionary leadership, our board chairman and our board, for the strategic direction. They continue to challenge us to think big. And like Jude said, I mean, for us at Transcorp, impossibility is nothing, truly. And that is in our DNA. So what we see within the sector, whereas other people see challenges, we see opportunity. Okay, so if you just put up the slides, if you don't mind. So today I'll take us through the overview of the company, Transcorp. Okay, sorry, let me just be sure this works. Excellent, yeah, working. So we're a leading power generating company in Nigeria with an installed capacity of 972 megawatts. Our power plant is located in Ughelli, Delta State. We have 18 gas turbine units installed in the plant. And today we are proud to say that we power 10 million homes, industries, schools, hospitals, truly making an impact, to the economy in Nigeria. Whereas we have an installed capacity that is just about 7% of the nation's installed capacity, we actually generate 10%. So we're contributing more than our quota in terms of installed capacity. And our long-term aspiration and vision remains to power 1 in every 4 households, industries in Nigeria. We have very impressive operational financial track record. Going back to our full year performance for 2023, we delivered the revenue of 142.1 billion as a full year 2023. Our EBITDA stands at 69.4 billion. Our profit before taxation stands at just under 53 billion at 52.8 billion. So this is really impressive numbers by any standard. And I think we deserve a round of applause for that. So our total asset has grown, and today our total asset base at 223.4 billion, and our shareholder fund stands at 58.7 billion. So a little bit about our history. Like we did say, we acquired the plant in 2013, and post-acquisition, as a matter of fact, at the point of acquisition, the installed capacity in the available capacity in the plant was 162 megawatts. Within a few weeks of acquisition, we doubled that to over 300 megawatts. And within 4 years of operation, we actually increased that to over 700 megawatts. So we stand here very proud, our shoulders very high, because we're the only successor Genco post-privatization that has been fully discharged from post-privatization monitoring by the federal government, because we fully met and surpassed the set targets at the point of privatization. We are also a very proud member of the West Africa Power Pool. We were inducted into the West Africa Power Pool in 2018. And what that did was it also opened up the opportunity for us to do cross-border electricity trading as well. So today, 18% of our income comes from sales of power across the border. And also we attract much needed forex to help finance and boost our operations. So just walking us back history as well, I'm not going to go through this slide, but I think I've kind of mentioned a number of all the other items. But I think one of the things that within our journey is that we, at the end of December 2023, we converted ourselves from a private company to public liability company, PLC. And today, you're all witnessing the historical event where we're listing in the stock exchange. We're led by a well-seasoned and well-rounded board, led by our able chairman, Mr. Emmanuel Norum. We have Dr. Mrs. Owen Omogiafo, who sits on our board. Mr. Peter Hetog, our director, he is also here. Mr. Rizqa Mohammed as well. We have Mr. Jim Jibuno, Mr. Vincent Ozude, and Professor Sylvester Moye. So we have a very balanced board. We're very strong with corporate governance. We have 3 board committees, the Finance Investment Committee. We have the Board Audit and Governance Committee, and then we also have the Technical Committee as well. So together, the board provides all the strategic direction that we require. Led by me as the MD CEO, we have a very strong, professional, dedicated, hardworking team. Supported by our colleagues who are currently in the plant and, continue to shout out to us to give us encouragement today. The management team has over 250 years collective experience, and diverse people. I stand as MD CEO. I have Mr. Sheung Fadari, who is our Chief Technical Officer, PhD. It's not easy to have a PhD in engineering. And, our Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Evans Okpogoro, among some of the key personnel that we have. So the question is, what is our value proposition as Transcorp? What is our unique selling point? So I've mentioned a little bit of it, but let me just amplify, starting with our position within the country. So today, we have 7% of the installed capacity in the country, currently doing 10% of the power generation, and poised to do more as we move along. And I'm going to walk you through that journey. We have a very solid operational track record. I've highlighted, the achievements post-acquisition of the Ughelli power plant. And we continue to make investments to improve our operations. We have a fully automated plant, digital, and strong safety record as well. I talked about our board and our management team, very strong, stable, dynamic, visionary, poised to truly transform the sector as the opportunities continue to unfold. Our financial performance has been consistent, has been stable. If you look at our performance over the last 5 years, you notice that we have, on the compounded annual growth rate, we've grown revenue 20%, compounded annual growth rate. We've also grown profit by over 40% over the last 5 years. So these are very strong numbers, and that's what gives us the confidence to stand before you here today, because we have a fantastic story to tell about Transcorp Power. We also have strategic partnerships. I talked about our partnership with the West Africa Power Pool. We are also developing strong, with the Electricity Act, that's opened up the sector. We're also leveraging strong partnerships with distribution companies and other key customers as well to ensure that we do control most of the value chain. We'll continue to leverage our relationship with TCN, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, around the evacuation infrastructure. And when I describe the level of infrastructure investment we have in our plant, you really see that we do have a very robust operation. Okay. So talk a little bit about ESG, something that we're truly very proud of. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but we continue to operate in a very sustainable manner. We have a very harmonious relationship with our host communities. We're very proud of the things that we do. One of the key things that we're truly very happy about and very proud is our vocational skill acquisition program, whereby we take youths and young entrepreneurs from the host community, put them through vocational training, and at the end of the training, they pathway with seed money to help them become employers of labor themselves and have the multiplier effect within the community. Just an overview on the plant operations. I talked about the fact that we have 18 gas turbines that form the bedrock of our operations. These units are highly reliable. We have 6 GE Frame 9 units and 12 Hitachi units, 825 units, fully automated in terms of the control. We have a lot of flexibility in terms of fuel usage, and we have a compact footprint that makes it easy for us to add additional capacity to the plant. Just a couple of things to talk about our plant. One of the biggest challenges that most thermal gencos or generating companies face is the issue of gas supply. For us in Ughelli, we have 2 pipelines that bring gas to the plant. We have multiple sources of gas. We have relationship with key gas producers within the area. So at every point in time, we have alternative sources for gas supply. On the evacuation corridor, we also have significant investment from the Transmission Company of Nigeria. We have 2 evacuation corridors. So the first one is on the 330 kV line. We actually have 2 dual redundant lines through which we can evacuate all the power from our plant. In addition to that, we also have 3 132 kV lines as well. And between the two lines, we also have an interval transformer that gives us the flexibility to evacuate all our power on the 330, the 120, 132, or vice versa as well. So I will speak a little bit around, our operational performance over time. But one of the things you keep to see is that we've continued to grow our peak generation over the years. And at this point, I'll hand over to Mr. Evans Okpogoro to walk us through the financial performance, and I'll come back to talk about our strategic plans for the future.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I will join the MD to stand on existing protocols. I will go to our performance for the history of our numbers. In the last 5 years, we've continued to grow our revenue. And you will see that we've grown the revenue from a 55 billion in 2019 to 142 billion in the last financial year. If you look at 2022, which was 90 billion, represent a 57% growth in revenue. And what that simply says is that we continue to increase the power we put on the grid. And that is the reason for the revenue growth that we have. One key note I want us to leave with us is that Transcorp Power Plc also blackstarts the grid. That makes us a strategic partner to the federal government. In 2020, we started exporting power outside the country. Okay, to blackstart the grid means that when there's a grid collapse, when there's a total blackout in the country, right, there is a generating company that must energize the grid, must start up the grid before other gencos come in. Yeah. So we have that capacity and that capability to do it, makes us a strong strategic partner to the federal government. Okay, so in 2020, we started exporting power outside Nigeria, and that accounted for 3.3% of our revenue. As at the end of the financial year 2023, that has grown from 3% to about 18% of our revenue. What that also do for us, it enables us to pay our FS obligations. And I'm very delighted to announce to our stakeholders that we've also fully paid our USD loan acquisition from our banks. Yeah. Okay. So, not only, one thing about Transcorp PLC is that we execute excellently, meaning do it right the first time and do it well without compromising health, safety, and environment. That has enabled us to grow our EBITDA margin from a 20% to a 49%. And also our net profit has also grown from a 7.3% to a 22%. As is rightly said, the numbers do not lie. Under the leadership of one of the finest and distinguished chartered accountants, Mr. Emmanuel Enunorom, we also do not just focus on growing the top line. Yes, we also do not just focus on growing our top line. We are very focused on growing the bottom line. And you will see that we've grown our profit before tax from a 9 billion in 2019 to a 52.7 billion in 2023. If you go through our statement of financial position, we continue to invest in our assets. And we've been able to move our total assets from a 143 billion to a 223 billion. And I did note that we've cleaned up our USD acquisition loan. What that simply means, as I will wrap up to allow my MD CEO to come back to continue the presentation, I want to leave you with this, that Transcorp Power is an organization that creates value for all its stakeholders, underlining our corporate strategy, which is improving lives and transforming Africa. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Evans. So we've talked about our history, but let's give you a glimpse of the future. Our brighter days are ahead at Transcorp. And so if we could put up the slides. So for us, our long-term, thank you. Our long-term strategic goal and objective is to be the leading power generating company in Nigeria with revenue in excess of 500 billion by 2031. That's our goal. And how are we going to achieve this? We're going to diversify our energy mix. We're going to make additional investments in renewable energy space, off-grid solution. We're going to continue with our efforts around capacity recovery within the plant and also further expansion within the plant to increase our footprint. We're going to deepen our play, not just within Nigeria, but across the entire West Africa to leverage our membership of the West Africa Power Pool. And we're going to continue to grow our market share in Nigeria significantly. And for this, I mean, the bedrock for that is our people. We're truly very passionate about our people. We'll continue to invest in them. We'll continue to invest in technology, best practices, for a truly world-class power plant. We will leverage on our strong corporate governance and sustainability framework, continue to leverage the relationship we have with our strategic partners, our gas suppliers, key stakeholders. Our brand is strong. Transcorp is a very strong and powerful brand, and we'll continue to leverage the doors that that brand opens for us, not just within Nigeria, but also outside the country as well. We're going to continue to maintain our excellent safety record and, just continue to make investments in improving our operational efficiency within the plant. But most importantly, our stakeholders, our shareholders are very key. Continue to drive strong, sustainable, long-term relationship with our key stakeholders, starting with the community and other principal stakeholders. Our strategic intent for 2024 is along the same lines as our overall long-term goal. Again, we want to be a leading company and operating the plant in a very safe and sustainable manner. We've set some aspirations for ourselves for 2024. Our peak generation this year is going to be at 611 megawatts with a peak available capacity of 740 megawatts. So as I speak to you, we are making significant investments in capacity recovery. Within the next 8 weeks, we'll add 125 megawatts to the grid. And by the end of June, we'll add another 125 megawatts to the grid, bringing it to about 250 megawatts. The future truly is bright. And as we begin to see opportunities unfold within the power sector in Nigeria and across the border, we'll continue to make further investments as well. Yeah. So I've talked about our growth drivers, but I think truly for us, we are excited at the prospect of what the future holds for us. And, the leadership that we have, it's, truly challenges us and pushes us beyond what the things that we can think about. So at this point, I hand over to Dr. Gbadebo to give us a summary of the listing, and I'll come back with a few concluding thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Engineer Peter Kenga and Evans. I think that was very clear. They provided information on the history of the company, strategy, management, corporate governance, value proposition, geographic diversification of the business in essence, the technical capability. Permit me to just say something. In the course of that presentation, there was a mention of that black start, even though, there was an explanation about it. In the course of our preparing as financial advisors and working with the company, we had to go to the site a number of times, at different times with regulators before they gave approval, at different times with other independent analysts just to assess the company. The explanation around the Black Start service, I think it's a national service on its own because when you find out from what they talk about when the grid collapses, right, that means there's no electricity across the country. And when the engineers were explaining to us, right, it takes a lot. There needs to be few plants with the capacity to start up the whole country again. It's actually a national service, but give it up to Transcorp Power once again. I think it's a major one. But my point here is to actually talk about a summary of the listing. I'll just walk through what we have, a number of it. So the name of the company, as we know, is Transcorp Power Plc. Region is Nigeria. The sector is utilities sector. Subsector is this electric power generation subsector. The main board of the Nigerian Exchange is the market classification, and it's a listing by introduction. And what do we mean by a listing by introduction? Existing shares of the company, the existing shares held by existing shareholders is what is being listed. Those are the shares that are being listed. 7.5 billion shares are the ones being listed. And I'll just click to that. Those are the shares that are being listed at the price of 240 naira per share. But as we heard today, in less than 10 minutes, about 10 billion naira worth of those shares were traded, and it closed 10% up. That's a couple of tens, noting that they've also done 10 years since acquisition. I think you can clap for that. So a couple of tens there, right? Market cap is 1.8 trillion naira, and that's I think that would actually change now with the price now. And of course, just to mention that, so I represent United Capital PLC. We are lead advisors on this transaction, but this has not been possible without a number of other advisors. And I'll just introduce the other advisors. Vetiva Advisory Services, Joint Financial Advisor. United Capital Securities Limited, stockbrokers. GLIers were solicitors to the transaction, Africa Prudential registrars, Deloitte and Touche auditors to the company. And I will go to speaking about rationale for the listing. Just 4 key rationale amongst others. So first is to ensure that they can diversify the shareholder base of the company. Existing shareholders, as at now, have provided shares, and those shares have been listed. And this listing is to encourage attraction of new investors from the public, right? That's the first one. These have been admitted into the company. Second is really to have access to a larger pool of capital raising options. Now, when the CEO spoke, they spoke about the growth plans, quite a number of things to do. These have to be funded, right? And a listing on the NGX also affords the opportunity to raise capital across debt, equity, and all forms of capital, right? And that's a second rationale. Brand awareness and visibility is critical. And once a company is listed, the company gains a lot more brand and awareness and visibility. And last but not the least is to contribute to the growth of the NGX and to the Nigerian capital market at large. I think at this point, I will just hand over back to the CEO to take it up from there. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Dr. Gbadebo. So I was just having a side chat with my CFO, and I said we came in today at 1.8 and we closed at 1.98, just shy of 2 trillion. You know, just in one day, that's the value that we have created to.
Let me interject at this level. I believe, first of all, you should continue to stand there so that you can answer the questions. We have some backings from here. But let me use this opportunity to appreciate the interjection and intervention by not Mr. Tony Elimelu, but Engineer Tony Elimelu, for us to know more of how, when there is a collapse of a national grid, we have a fallback in Transcorp Power that can be able to kickstart that. And secondly, in the presentation, they have made mention that by 2022, 31, I believe, they are going to have annual revenue of 500 billion. Please quote me, God's willing, if we're here, 2031, I'm assuring you, is going to be much more than that figure that has been presented today. Because Tony thinks big, plans big, and surpass all his targets. He has demonstrated that in all the companies that are quoted on the stage. So I believe Transcorp Power will not be an exception. So on this note, for us at the NGX, to reflect a true barometer of the Nigerian economy, we want to be part of this success story. And I believe the investing public, the press will use this opportunity so that they can sell that another vibrant, profitable, future expectation of an organization that has been listed today is available in this market for people to invest and share the success story of not only Tony Elimelu as a person, but what he has done, what he has demonstrated, including what has been said today. Even the Harvard Business School of this world have already recognized the type of asset we have in this country. They have a case study of Heirs Holdings, and I believe people should key in so that we don't have any other country like this. We need people like him, people like Dangote, Debua, Femi Otedola, so that we can kickstart this economy. These are people that believe in this market, and I believe with the type of management and resources we have in the NGS, we have the platform that we can cut out for all sectors of the economy. On this note, let me open for questions and answers. I believe we need to be brief. I've noticed, in particular, Mr. Tony Elimelu, the quality of the people, the audience today. I don't think I've ever seen it before in this market. So I think it's very important that today we are not only listing Transcorp Power, but it's an epoch-making event for us at NGS. We are proud to be associated with you, in particular, Tony Elimelu, who are changed now to engineer too, and the Transcorp and Heirs Holdings in general. So on this note, I think moderator, let's pick maybe 4 or 5 questions because everybody wants to speak. And it's going to be difficult for us to, even though I don't want to limit, but I believe I can give chance to some of our leadership from the Shareholders Association that I've seen them all here being represented. And all those other capital market stakeholders from our stockbroking community, investing public, the press, and the Transcorp team that are here, including some of our directors that are here. So, moderator, let the MD stand there. MD, you have the backing of Mr. Tony Elimelu, Inorom, and the rest to back you, including Toy Insani and the rest that are all there. And so everybody can be able to respond on behalf of Transcorp. So, MD, will you that to do the moderation, or I should be the one to do the moderation? Which one do you prefer? Or MC, can you do the moderation?
Hello.
Okay, go ahead, please.
I think we have.
Okay,
Good
so
afternoon, everyone.
we'll take questions from the stockbrokers first, then we'll move to the shareholders, and then we can go to the media.
All right.
First.
Good
So
afternoon,
please, the
everyone.
stockbrokers first. From that angle.
My name is Olumiwa Adeyemi. I trade for Atlas Portfolios. And I want to say today that I'm really so happy and I'm really impressed to be part of this, this event. Like the chairman said, I've not seen all this full in the past 4 years. No thanks to COVID, but I tell you, it's really impressive, and it is only because of Transcorp. I have a question. Today, I trade every day, and today, shortly before the listing, the bid volume was about 105 million units. And when market closed, that volume still existed. So I'm really concerned. I tried buying some, I got some, but I still have clients calling all through the trading period, asking for more. My question is, are we going to get lucky to probably have Transcorp shareholders get some from Transcorp Power, sir? It will be a very good one, because I don't think anybody that is present here and has heard the good numbers would want to sell. So I just think in my head, we'll get lucky. Thank you, sir.
Just let's take like 3 questions so that at least instead of 1, 1, 1, 1.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, sir. All protocols observed. I like to commend the management of Transcorp Power for this very illuminating presentation. However, there are some issues agitating the minds of my investors, and I have 2 of them here, which I will seek clarification on. First, is the majority shareholder exiting the business through this listing? That's number 1. Then the second question is, why is Transcorp Power Plc being listed at a higher market capitalization than its parent, Transnational Corporation PLC? Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, let's take Kurfi now, so at least we have covered the stockbroking community. Kurfi, please.
I would like to stand on the existing protocol. First and foremost, I must say thank you to the acting NGX, because it's a family of Tony. Today, when you look at CSCS, Jajalo, the NGX, you see they are all family of the same family, and they know the key to open this door, because we got it right. So we thank you, and we wish to do more, because this is Ogehili, the bigger one. The elephant is the AFAM. We expect that it will be listed. But after all, we wish that Tony will see the wisdom of listing Heirs, because today, is that what Warren Buffett hold in the New York Exchange? And nobody take it from him. Because if you have Heirs, even if I have 1 share out there, I think it's enough for me to have the rest. So we wish that you will list the rest with time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alhaji Kurfi. The way that we are going, should I change the MD to Chief Tony Elimelu so that I can go and stand there? Because I can see some of those questions. I've been director team, but I believe the MD can answer some of them. Let me respond to these 3, please, so that so that we can pick another 3 or conclude. And I want to agenda the next one now.
All right, Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. So let me start with the first question around the shareholders for TNC and if they'll be getting shares from Transcorp Power PLC. So you're already shareholders in Transcorp Power PLC. Transcorp, the national corporation owns 51% of Transcorp Power already. So by that association, you're automatically shareholder. So it's like you own something, you ask whether you want to own it a second time. So, but what we've also done by listing today is also give you another opportunity. If you want to acquire shares directly with Transcorp Power, that's possible. But I just wanted to make that clarification. The other question is
Peter, let me add to that. So he's also saying that today, the close of market, they had bid over 100 and something thousand, million, right? So he's saying, would they be lucky to get that also from existing shareholders? And yes, we have first met all the listing requirements first, all 100%. But in addition to that, as people who believe in democratizing luck, who believe in democratizing wealth and prosperity for everyone, yes, we will make some more shares available from tomorrow.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the second question is whether the majority shareholder is exiting as part of this transaction. The simple answer to that is capital, no. Nobody runs away from opportunity the way it is presented here. I think the one around the valuation, I think I'll hand it over to Dr. Badebo, maybe just to speak around how we got the valuation. Dr. Badebo.
I think since we don't have time, let me assist here. So no, what is asked is the market cap of Transcorp, the parent. I think it underlines the fact that the market has not fully priced Transcorp PLC. And I hope that this price discovery journey has begun with what is going on now. Hopefully soon it should be higher, because that's how it should be.
Chairman, the last question is for you.
The last question, the hairs.
The hairs.
Okay, the last one. Noted. Noted. We'll come back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Tony Alimelu. So I will take Remy Bakare. I will take Boniface. And you see, my challenge is that if people want to speak, it's going to be difficult. BC Bakare, Boniface, Mukhtar.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Mrs. BC Bakare. I'm going to be very brief. First and foremost, I want to use this opportunity to really commend the board of Transcorp Power PLC for giving opportunity to we shareholders to be part of our power company. We really appreciate it. And we commend our lion, our group chairman, for this great opportunity. Secondly, Mr. Chairman, I want to ask from the board of Transcorp Power that do we have a plan or intention of coming to the market very soon? Shareholders have been asking that question. I said when I'm here today, I will ask to do public offer. Yes. Yeah. Do we have intention of doing that very soon? Then thirdly, Mr. Chairman, lastly, to give my colleagues opportunity. Mr. Chairman, despite efforts of generation company to increase their generating capacity, gas has been very, very difficult. So I want to ask that, how do you hope to address the problem of gas in this country, Nigeria? Thank you once again for the opportunity given to me.
Give Mukhtar, then we'll go to Boniface.
Then I will invite Nono. Brief.
I will stand at the existing protocol. The chairman of NGX Group PLC, Alhaji Umaru Kwaranga, doctor, our own live brother, congratulate you that a bigger power have been listed here today. It's still my congratulations, and it's a big one for us to have Transcorp. What are the another existing power that listed here? Transcorp still have the upper hand in terms of capacity. Today, if we're generating about 700 megawatts, we're still the bigger plant, Ugelu. I visited there and see what's happening there. I've been on ground in Ugelu to see the plant, see how far they have taken it to, from where they brought it, the 160 megawatt. Today, is generating, in fact, a new plant completely. The old plant have been fixed out completely when they took over. At least, we don't have machine disappreciation of the, machinery over there. And I'm asking Mr. Chairman, a lot of companies today are declaring negative results in terms of, because Forex. Because it's the power, if we're talking about Forex today, in terms of machinery, is the power sector that importing this into the country to install. Since we have a new machine today that will have to take another 5 years before depreciation coming about, I don't think we're going to also talking about a dollar problem, making out to declare a negative result. That will not happen in Transcorp. Mr. Chairman, having listed Transnational, the hotel, the company itself, and the power today, that's a 3 company. So that means we're going to earn dividend in 3 companies. So, Mr. Chairman, I want to ask, the last acquisition, which is AFAM Powerhouse, when is it coming on board or be listed? So when are we concluding transition with the government and hand over fully? Because that means Transcorp is doing well. So acquiring those things, government cannot run. And when the government put them in the bad shape, you bring in money to transform them. And it's commendable that every shareholder who are investing in Transnational were able to have direct earning from those companies. Instead of people saying one person is eating, but it's now spread everywhere that you end here and in here.
Thank you very much.
I want to commend the board of Transcorp to keeping faith with the shareholder. And that's the confidence we're having in you with the good leadership quality we have seen Tony and then Noram, who's a veteran in this business.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. So, Nona Hour, please. I'm sorry, please, from Nona, we have to close. Patrick.
The Chairman, please permit me to also stand on existing protocols. And for the records, my name's Nona Ao. Mr. Chairman, I'll be interested in the fact that reading this pamphlet, there's a disclaimer by Transcorp Power. But I heard you even say much more than the disclaimer. So if I buy and you don't meet target, Chairman, I can assure you I will come and look for you after this date. But talking seriously to the presentation, it will be interesting to probably educate lay people like me. If you have an offer for introduction and all that you have offered at the end of trading today is 40 million, what informed your decision to do just 40 million today and probably come back tomorrow, move up the price by 10% and probably do another 10 million or 5 million? It will be interesting to know, because this is an offer for introduction. But much more importantly for me, I'm talking about corporate governance. Are people who are insiders in this deal, are they excluded from being part of this offer that we've had today? Because it will be interesting too, because one of the things that is emerging is that more and more persons are getting interested in what we do as Nigerians and how we do it. And I think this for me will also be incisive. The second area, which is related to the first, has to do with the performance that has been unaudited I find here for 2023 is indicating that the profit after tax, before tax rather, moved up by 24 billion. And that means that the gain, the improvement that you've had in 2023, should it become actual when it's fully audited, means an 83% plus. But the profit before tax that has been made this year is only equal to what was made in 2018, which is not in this pamphlet, 2021 and 2022. So, are you expecting the same side of growth in the year 2024? Because that itself is one of the ways to also understand the disclaimer a little more. And it's also on that note that I will be asking, what is, again, the representation around the board? Yes, Transcorp is 50% holding. How is it going to go? Because when you buy companies, you are also buying character. And that character will also include how the structure of the board is also better explained. Those are my contributions.
Thank you
for
very
the
much,
opportunity.
Nona, and we appreciate that. So on this note, let me go to the MD. MD, some of the questions that are too big for you to answer, we can pass it to the Chief Daniel Limelu, who can be able to answer that. MD, please.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. So the first question has to do with whether or not we plan to do an IPO. The answer is, the only reason why we're in the market is to make sure we have that optionality. And when the time is right, the market will be aware of what we're going to do. The second one is around the difficulty in gas. How do we address gas issues in the country? So this is a very broad question. I think the simple answer to that is you have to invest more in gas as a country. You need gas molecules to be able to do a lot of things. And so that's the simple answer to that question. I'm just, in the interest of time, keeping my answers very crisp, Mr. Chairman. Okay. And so what are we doing as a group for gas? As you're also aware, we also own an asset that is rich in gas. And in the time to come in the future, we're going to also mature that asset. And our long-term aspiration is to make that a gas-to-power strategy. So have a fully integrated gas-to-power strategy for that asset. The other question has to do with receivables, the huge debt within the sector. Again, this is a sectoral challenge, and we continue to engage. Safe to say that we are making progress in that area. The market itself is also liberalizing, whereas we used to have to sell in bulk to MBET, the bulk electricity trading company. Today, with the Electricity Act, we have the optionality of dealing directly with discos and eligible customers. So I think with all of that, you continue to see that our receivables will begin to shrink as time goes on. The other question has to do with the grid infrastructure. Let me focus on Transcorp. So for us, the grid is not a limitation for us because we have a very robust connection to the grid. I highlighted the evacuation corridors we have. So we have multiple channels in which we can evacuate our power. The other issues on the grid is a national issue, which has already been addressed. So we're not going to speak to that, but everybody understands what is going on the grid. The other one is about AFAM, when it's going to be listed. I think the chairman already hinted to that as well, to say that in the time to come, if that's going to happen, the market will be aware of that. And the other question has to do with the number of shares on offer for introduction. And
maybe I can take over.
Yeah, I was going to hand over to you, Chairman.
So what was done was listing by introduction. First. Two, again, I want to say to everyone, Nona in particular, we met 100% all listing conditions. The issue of the growth of the company, given the historical performance you read out, we have a track record of doing well. So this is only the beginning. What is it? Only the beginning. On the board structure, you have, please, if I call you, Bob Members, to be nice for you to stand for them. Let's have Peter Hetton. Peter Hetton, please stand up. Peter Hetong is a foreign investor. He's into electricity in Oman, in the Middle East, Oman. He flew in today from Pakistan this morning to be here. He's one of the investors and is also on the board of Transcorp. And his technical expertise is significant. Over 5 years, his company, Thomason, you can check them out. They were in Nigeria on the power plant, helping us to turn around, fix the power, the plant. So, but for people like this, and my manager won't be where we are today. Peter, thank you very much. Okay. We have Rizkwa Mohammed. Rizkwa, please stand up. Rizkwa is married also, but okay. Rizkwa Mohammed, our handsome director. Rizkwa Mohammed, he needs no introduction to some because what we do today was inspired by his dad, late Murtala Mohammed. That is his son, his first son. Rizkwa is on the board of Transcorp. He's a significant shareholder in Transcorp Power. As a PLC shareholding of directors who declare. So you know what Rizkwa. Rizkwa, thank you. Please sit down. We have the chair, Emmanuel Norom, representing Transcorp. Represent Transcorp. The independent director is not here. We have Vincent, please stand up too. Vincent is the CEO of Transafam. Because what we are trying to do is to integrate, to make sure the CEO of Afam sits on the board, technical committee, learns what is happening there, and transports it to his own plant. So he's one of the directors. And of course, if people buy into a company story and a company's future. If you, as shareholders or prospective shareholders, listening to the CEO of Transcorp Power Plc, I'm sure you'll be making your decision what to do. Peter, please stand up. Thank you. So these are, of course, and then our female Amazon, Dr. Owen Omogapo. She is the president CEO of Transcorp Group. Naturally, she should be on the board too. So you're welcome. Man. So these are the board members for now of Transcorp PLC. Thank you very much for the question. Thank you.
So before we conclude, let me quote what the chairman of Transcorp have mentioned. He says shares are going to be available by that tomorrow. So some of the questions have been answered despite meeting all the conditions and requirements of our listing. Because he's a major stakeholder in this market, because he's a friend of the NGX, we believe these are partners in progress. They'll provide shares day after day so that people can be able to have enough shares that are going to invest in Transcorp Power. And you see, people are investing in organizations because of the future. What has been demonstrated today, this is a company to invest in. And I believe Tony Elimelu will be a partner to not only the very few people that are here, but the investing public in Nigeria and within outside. So we'll make sure that at least we drag Tony Elimelu so that we can have more shares, so that a lot of people will be part of a success story. Today, this company have a target of 3,000 megawatts. If you can recall, the whole generating capacity of Nigeria is 6,000 megawatts. So who else that doesn't want to be part of this success story? So for us, at NGX, we create wealth. And these are the wealth that we are creating. On this note, once more, thank you very much. We want to assure you that going forward, we continue to bring more of Transcorp Power for listing. And you are all invited. This is our NGX. So on this note, moderator, can you conclude? But I think there should going to be a national anthem at the closing of this. Doyen.
The chairman of NGX Group, I thank you for your... Well, thank you. We are happy that we have those who are rounded in the market. And because he knows everything from the beginning, and he has gone through so many tutelage. And before I say something, I want to plead with the chairman that something is weak when you begin to call it Aten. So I had people calling Jude Aten CEO and other this thing. Please, whatever it takes, confirm the appointment so that it will not be Aten, because the lizard has gone into the pit for a long time for it to be called whether crocodile or other names. There are other bigger this thing than in the market. So I'm pleading with you because the old man, not the stay for market, make the child neck bend at the back. And I will also thank the NGX for providing this platform for these people to express themselves. And I will also personally thank our brother, Tony, for not being selfish, for being, a free will giver, because they say a giver never lacks. And if you check around Tony, all the people that he brought, they are all big people now because he pulled them up. If you are climbing up and you see some people on the bottom of your ladder praying for you, that's why you will not fail. Because if you fail, those people at the bottom of the ladder, they have also failed. They will not have no hope. So what we are saying, each time I'm happy because you are pulling people up. All the people you have trained, look at Jude, look at Sani, look at Peter Shade and all the rest of them. And our chairman here is saying he's part of it. And the next person I will also thank is our brother Norum. Norum will be there as if he doesn't know anything, but he knows better. Yes, he knows better than everybody. Yes, because one bird in the road, he said why he goes to the road to make his nest is because those who are going to the farm or going to work, going anywhere, they're advancing their children. He will learn from there. So I know that Norum have learned a lot from Tony Elumelu. And Tony Elumelu, as you see him, he doesn't take anything for granted. Anytime the group, any of the disciplines coming, if he's available, he will be here, at least to give them the covering fire. And when they are talking and they are not talking the way he wants it to do, you see he's agitated and he wants to make input and straighten the line. And if you see that somebody is not failing, there must be a secret. So if you put your eye down, you will see the secret. They say, he that put his ear down will hear the legs of the ant moving. So I will personally thank Tony Lumelu. He should keep it up. Yes. Advice is not a cost. I will say keep it up. Because I've said it before, if a drummer is calling your name, it's not for nothing. There must be a reason why he's calling that name. It's not everybody name they will call in the drum, while the drummer is on. And if he's a wrestler, if you go to the wrestling arena, he must throw somebody. So each time Tony comes out, he throws, and he shows why they call Tony. And if Tony, as a person, is brought to this market to be listed, I'll be the first person to buy. I will buy. Because he has made his name in this market. So whether any company that is bringing is, or subscribe or not subscribe, it is always oversubscribed. You can see how people are scrambling to get what he has just brought to the market today. Please, I say, keep it up. Keep it up. Our hands are up for you. By the next time you come, I know you'll be bigger than what you have done today. Here I will end my catechism for now. there's no too much speech in the evening service. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Doyen. These are ancestors' sayings, and I believe we have listened attentively. We have come to the end of this epoch events of the listing of the Transcorp Power on the main board of the NGX. Moderator, please.
Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. Thank you very much, Mamibu Chairman. Thank you very much again to the leadership of Transcorp Group and Transcorp Power PLC here. The presentation has adequately shown that this is a company run with profound strategic direction, strong risk management. I think at the moment we would now close the session. Thank you very much for coming. Do enjoy the rest of your week.